Hard Times starts with a classroom in the industrial town of Coketown where Thomas Gradgrind teaches children that facts are the only things worth knowing. The room is plain and bare, much like Gradgrind's teaching philosophy. Now what I want is facts. Teach these boys and girls nothing but facts, he demands. His own children, Louisa and Tom, are raised in his home Gradgrind house with this same cold approach. No storybooks, no imagination, no playtime, just practical knowledge. This rigid education makes Louisa grow distant and Tom selfish. Their childhood home feels like another classroom where emotions are discouraged and dreams are squashed under the heavy weight of statistics and calculations. In the dusty office of Josiah Bounderby, a wealthy factory owner, plans are made that will change Louisa's life. Bounderby is Gradgrind's friend who constantly boasts about being a self-made man. His fancy house contradicts his claims of humble beginnings. He asks for Louisa's hand in marriage despite being much older than her. When her father presents this proposal, Louisa stands by a window looking at factory chimneys belching smoke. She agrees to marry Bounderby not from love but from duty and having no sense of better options. Since Mr. Bounderby likes me, father, I am satisfied to accept his proposal, she says without emotion. The factory smoke outside seems to represent her own suppressed feelings, dark, heavy, and unable to escape. Under the bright lights of Sleary's circus, a new character brings color to this gray world. Sissy Jupe, the daughter of a circus performer, is taken in by Gradgrind after her father abandons her. The circus tent with its music and laughter stands in complete opposition to Gradgrind's fact-based household. Sissy's natural kindness and imagination survive despite Gradgrind's attempts to educate them out of her. Meanwhile, in Bounderby's bank, young Tom works as a clerk, growing more selfish and gambling away his money. The bank's locked vaults and counting rooms reflect Tom's growing greed. He convinces Louisa to visit him so he can ask Bounderby for money. Tom's scheme shows how Gradgrind's education has failed to instill moral values in his son. Beside a railway track outside town, a mysterious stranger named James Harthouse arrives in Coketown. He is bored with life and looking for new amusements. The railroad tracks leading into town symbolize his entrance into the lives of others. Harthouse befriends Tom to get close to Louisa, finding her suppressed emotions fascinating. In Bounderby's grand drawing room, he flirts with Louisa, offering her attention her husband never provides. You have a quick and true intelligence, he tells her, appealing to her neglected mind. During a violent thunderstorm, Harthouse declares his love. The storm outside mirrors the emotional turmoil inside Louisa. Instead of accepting him, she flees through the rain to her father's house, where she collapses on the floor, finally expressing her years of repressed feelings. All that I know is, your philosophy and your teaching will not save me, she tells her shocked father. In the humble cottage of Rachel, an honest factory worker, the final pieces of the story come together. While Louisa recovers at her father's house, Tom's theft from Bounderby's bank is discovered. The cottage becomes a hiding place as Tom prepares to flee the country. Sissy arranges for the circus people to help him escape, showing kindness despite his wrongdoing. The sawdust ring of the circus becomes Tom's unlikely salvation. Meanwhile, Bounderby's housekeeper Mrs. Sparsit reveals herself as his actual upper-class relative, exposing his self-made man story as a lie. Gradgrind's school now seems empty as he recognizes the failure of his fact-based philosophy. The ground on which I stand has ceased to be solid under my feet, he admits. Rachel's simple home represents the honest values that have been missing throughout. As the factory chimneys continue to smoke over Coketown, Gradgrind begins to understand that human feelings and imagination are facts too. Perhaps the most important facts of all.